How do you guys feel? I want to play some clips here from College Game Day because I do believe that McAfee is helping Game Day make a bit of a resurgence here in the ratings in a way that's not disputable. Here he is just generally hand feeding again Nick Saban, showing that Nick Saban, he's doing the choo-choo train and he's just feeding Saban a slab of beef there, horrifying to every vegan and vegetarian in the audience. He's just doing, what is that? Is the choo-choo train? What is that called? You guys who have
Looks
kids.
like an airplane to me. Yeah.
Avioncito.
Yeah, coming in for the landing.
It's an airplane. Also, I think he's got now the most popular segment on Saturday morning, right, where people play for a great deal of cash to try and kick an extra point, and occasionally a person like this will just rupture either their Achilles or an ACL. That is just horrifying right there. That hurts to watch.
Yes.
Very unathletic. Are you guys Jessica and Lucy got me into a little bit of trouble with McAfee and everybody over there because they were critical of Game Day last year in a way that got attached to me instead of you guys. Critical of McAfee. What do you guys shrugging
Not your
shoulders
fault.
about?
Not your fault. Yeah.
I barely work here. I don't know what
Last year?
McAfee said that
text
I was
you?
talking shit about him because I was simply adding commentary to what you guys had said about College Game Day last year and how Fox was making inroads on the ratings game with College Game Day, trying to attack what has been, the second best sports studio show of our lifetime.
Is that talking?
You guys gonna apologize or what?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they're denying that they had anything to do
I
with
love
it.
that.
I hear the
I
take.
love
That was
that
one of my takes, no doubt. I don't think that's. I still watch both, and I find myself watching Big Noon more.
One of my best friends is on Game Day, so I doubt that I said anything bad about it. But I don't know, Dan. I mean,
You're best friends with Nick Saban?
yes.
Wow.
Actually, Miss Terry, who has the best pick percentage of all the guest pickers so far this season, which they love to talk about. No, I mean, you're doing a weird thing where I don't know exactly what you're talking about, so I'm trying to what.
You're not supporting it at all.
I don't know.
You're not trying to
I
do
don't know
anything
what I
other than
said.
backing away from the comments.
Dan's trying to back away from the criticism that Pat McAfee had for him, which is a
Right.
little unfounded and unfair in that Dan directly didn't diss College Game Day. He just applied pressure on other people on his show to do that for him.
Right.
So then
okay.
Yes.
he can.
It happened last week with Billy. Billy, what was
Last
it that
week?
I sent
Wait,
you?
what?
Billy,
Billy,
I sent
what?
you.
Hold
Billy?
on a second.
You were gone. We had
What's
Reese
going
Davis
on
on.
here?
I was praising the
I think
show.
we have an accountability
I mean,
issue right now.
Okay, I'm
What
going to
did
look
I
it up
do?
now. Okay, you guys always get me in trouble and then claim you didn't do anything to get me in trouble. I'll tell you.
I
I'm
know-
going to
I know
find
what
it.
you're talking
oh,
about.
now you know. Now you know that
No,
I'm going to find it.
Yeah,
yes.
it's an awful announcing thing.
Dan Le Batard, LeBron, Bronny James moment felt manufactured. Did I say that? No, Billy said that.
You did actually say that. When I continued doing it, I was like, it did feel manufactured. You said, because it was manufactured. So they were your words as well.
But wait a second. In defense of Billy here and Jess and Lucy and everyone on this show, it is awful announcing's job to listen to the audio and determine who said what it is they're claiming you said.
It's also their job to get the most engagement possible.
It also seems to be their job to report daily on this show.
Stugotz,
Well, now we're sounding like Pat McAfee here.
Stugotz still has me fearing running into Warren Sapp in public because he's been saying for 10 years that Warren Sapp has bad breath. Look at the smile on Roy's face. How I'm afraid.
You said it. I'm trying to confirm
I've
it.
never said it. I've only repeated you saying it. I've never
Well,
said
then
it.
that's saying it.
I think Game Day has pivoted more away from some of these really thoughtful, well-done pieces, even though they still attempt it. There's not enough zip on those passes as there once were, I think largely because of the producers and personnel that were attached to those. But they pivoted. My wife looks really forward to Pat McAfee's kicking challenge. I like the breakdown with Nick Saban. That's a new segment that they've done. So they're doing different things. That doesn't mean it's better or worse, but they are actually trying to do something different. Sometimes they maybe lean in a little bit too much to the fun of it, but having been to a College Game Day with Pat McAfee at the center of it, that dude is the Energizer Bunny, and he keeps those people in particular that are around that event having fun, keeping them engaged. He's a hype man for that show. He just so happens to be front-facing talent for it as well.
It's become a massive party, which I'm totally fine with. Like, less substance, more partying. I'm totally good with that. But you talk about McAfee and how he has helped that show, and he has. There is no question about it. So is Nick Saban. Nick Saban has been great. Not good, Dan. He has been great in breaking down games, breaking down coaches, what coaches do in certain situations, but he's also been fun. Like, Nick Saban has been fun, and it's been an enjoyable watch for me. I love it. I love the show.
But you guys are completely being dismissive of the show, saying there's less substance. I don't think that's the case. There's just fun going on at the same time.
I'm good with that.
For someone that sees on being for Dan exaggerating on certain things, I didn't say that what you alluded to there. I just don't think it's a different show. I like the thought-provoking, tear-jerking types of segments. They're doing a little less than that.
Rinaldi left. Who's going to do it?
Well, they could.
He was better than anyone.
Well, then they had Wojciechowski, and he left, and and now Jen Latta's trying to do it. I'm just saying, there's segment producers that made that show a little bit different. I think last year they were trying to find their voice. I think now they know what works really well with Pat, and get him with the people, get him engaged out there. So these are all producers that are. All these judgments that I had against College Game Day were observations that I picked on last year. And I think that this year they're effectively moving into some of the people's strengths a little bit. It is a different show. I do find myself going to Big Noon a little bit more because I like the produced pieces and that they're producing. Some of those being produced by the people that were at College Game Day.
I'd rather have McAfee than David Pollack, like just in general vibe. Never mind everything else in terms of just having an electrical current around what it is that you're doing. Lucy, you're making faces at me?
I've liked that. I think I was very hesitant about McAfee originally. I think it's pretty well documented on the show, actually, so I admit that I have said things. The addition of Nick Saban, they kind of bring out the best in each other, I think, in a weird way. Where, like, Pat McAfee is having some more serious conversations when Nick Saban is leading those. And, like, he absolutely, like, as Matt Ryan has said, has found his sort of role as the hype man, which is what he's doing. Because Game Day, like, you now have all this competition. You have Big Noon. You have whatever Big Ten is doing. You have all these, like, SEC Network. You have to find a way to draw people to where you're going to be. Like, this weekend alone, I know that Big Noon and Game Day are both going to be at Penn State. How do you find sort of the balance of getting people to come to you versus another pregame show? But I think it also works in the reverse where, like, Nick Saban's such a serious guy. Pat McAfee can kind of make him ease up a little bit, wear a tie that he's uncomfortable with, eat food on camera. Like, they've all sort of kind of found their groove together. So I feel like this year has gone a lot better than last year.